Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti. I am MrPhotographer.com. In this video, I'm going to demo and evaluate the 1 to 5 stop variable ND filter from K&F Concept. Full disclosure, K&F Concept is not paying me to do this video. I will not make any money if you purchase the product, but they did give me this filter for free. Now, first of all, it comes in this cardboard box that has a little like magnetic clasp on it, and it's in a plastic holder like this. So the packing is pretty nice. And those of you not familiar with ND filters, ND filter is a neutral density filter, and what it's designed to do is let less light in through the lens to the sensor of your camera. There's 3 different reasons why you may want to use an ND filter. The first reason is that quite often you'd like to shoot at a very wide aperture. You may be wanting to do some portraiture outdoors where it's very bright, and your camera does not have a fast enough shutter speed to accommodate an aperture of, let's say, 1.4. Well, you slap on an ND filter and you'll be able to match the shutter speed to the aperture you want to use and be able to capture the shot. The other reason you may want to use it is something like I'm doing today. You just want to use a slower shutter speed so that you could blur water in this case. The third reason is that videographers like to use ND filters and variable ND filters specifically because in video, a videographer most often likes to use a shutter speed that is twice the frames per second that they're using. So if, for example, they're shooting at 30 frames per second, they would like to use a shutter speed that is 1/60th of a second. Well, quite often when you're outside, the light is changing a lot, and you'll need a variable ND filter to make sure that you're going to be able to capture that correct shutter speed that you want to use. Now in this case, this is a 1 stop to 5 stop ND filter. Typically for something like this, I would probably prefer to use a 10 stop ND filter, but we're going to check this one out. First of all, the construction is it's very well made. And the main complaint I have with variable ND filters is that when you max them out, they tend to give you a cross pattern that is overlaid on the image. Supposedly, K&F Concepts claims, at least, that this ND filter does not do that. So we're gonna find out. So I have my Nikon D850 set up for the shot, and I have it in live view mode, and to take the picture with this camera, all I need to do is like tap on a focus point. So I'm gonna focus right on the waterfall and take the shot. Now, when I put the ND filter on, I'm gonna max it out right away to 5 stops. So theoretically, we should get a shot that has a shutter speed 5 stops slower than what I just took. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to pause the video and wait a moment because it's really sunny right now. And we have dappled light falling on the waterfall, and I don't want that. I want the light to be a little more even. So I'm gonna pause the video. We'll come back when that sun moves behind a cloud, and I'll take a shot without the ND filter. Then I'll put on the ND filter and take a shot, and we'll see what it looks like. And then the second part of this video will be at home. We'll be on my computer, and we'll look at the 2 different versions and see how this ND filter actually performs. Okay, the sun is at least temporarily moved behind a cloud, and this is a situation I'd prefer to shoot at. So I'm gonna take another shot right here. I'm just gonna touch on the touch screen and take an image. Now I'm gonna put the ND filter on the lens. And I'm gonna max it out so that it's setting at 5 stops. Now I'll take an image again, focus on the same spot, and take the shot. Now, another issue with ND filters, although they're supposed to be neutral density, that means that they just restrict light and they don't affect color at all. Some ND filters actually do affect the color and the white balance. So we're gonna go back home, we're gonna put these images on the computer and we'll take a look at them there, and we'll determine whether or not, first of all, it actually did have a 5-stop difference, and secondly, what did it do to the color, how did it affect it, and can I change the color in post to get it match what we're actually looking at right now. All right, I'm back home. I have both images in Lightroom. I shot both images in Aperture priority mode. This is the first image, the image without the ND filter. I chose an aperture of f8, ISO is 64. The camera picked the shutter speed of 1/200th of a second. Now the next image is the image with the ND filter. I used the same exact aperture, f8, the same exact ISO 64. This time the camera picked a shutter speed of 1/6 of a second. So that 5-stop ND filter created a exact 5-stop difference. 1/200th of a second to 1/6 of a second is exactly 5 f-stops. 1/200th to 1/100th is 1, to 1/50th is 2, to 1/25th is 3, to 1/12th is 4, and to 1/6th is 5. So the ND filter is exact as far as its strength. Now, color difference. As far as processing is concerned, I processed this image in Lightroom. I just did some tone adjustments, and I added some texture and clarity, and I did lens corrections. I copied that processing to this image. I did not copy the white balance. I left the white balance the way it is. And I don't know if you could see it in the video, but the image with the ND filter is just very, very slightly warmer. Definitely acceptable. Something that you, if you don't want it, you could just, cool it down with a white balance adjustment very easily. I've seen ND filters really mess the color with an image, really make them really warm. Some ND filters make them really cool. I'm very impressed actually with this ND filter. It's such a reasonably priced ND filter, and it's right on, exactly 5 stops, and the color balance is almost perfect. It's just, like I said, slightly warm. So I think it's a really, really nice ND filter. Now, to finish off this image, I would probably just bring saturation up a little bit, and I would probably go to detail and add some sharpening. It was shot at ISO 64. My experience with my Nikon D850 is that there's really no noise. It's negligible if it exists at all at ISO 64. So we're good to go. I'd say that I'd then probably just come in here and add a little bit of a vignette, and I'd say that's done. And I think that's really a very, very nice shot with this very reasonably priced ND filter. Now I just want to say again, in case you didn't catch it at the very top, K&F Concept is not paying me to do this video at all. I will not make a commission if you purchase the ND filter from them, but they did give me the ND filter for free. So I really just like the ND filter because I think it's a really good ND filter. So with that said, check it out if you're interested. Now, in this video, it was mainly kind of a review concerning the ND filter, and I really didn't go into detail about how to do long exposure photography. If you guys are interested in me doing videos like that in the future, where I go into more detail about how to use ND filters, how to blur water, how to do portraiture with ND filters that I mentioned at the top, let me know in the comments below, and hopefully I could put something together. I'm trying to do more videos where I'm not always behind the computer. Also, in the description below this video, I'll have all those settings I used for the camera, including the live view and all that stuff, and all the gear I used, and the exposure info, which I mentioned anyway in the video, but I'll have that all listed down below. So check that out. I'd like to thank everyone that watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.